Barney Clark, the person who got the first artificial heart, and Bill DeVries became like two of the most. I always call him the most famous patient in the history of the world, by the second most famous after Karen Quinlan. But everybody knew Barney Clark. He was on the front page of papers all around the world. But the real star was his surgeon, Bill DeVries. And that case raised all of the important issues on human experimentation. When can you do it? When is it acceptable to do something to a human being that was even higher up than most people had ever asked before? And then how do you get informed consent for the first of its kind in the world? It's something that's as strange as this, and ultimately, as you remember, the Utah IRB we were also looking at IRB systems, and the Utah IRB was, it's fair to say, it was just horrible. It could hardly get a worse IRB, in that they refused to make the decision. They ultimately said, well, this is too hard. Let's leave it up to Barney Clark. Well, kind of a ridiculous thing is that to say, but that's basically what they did. And we won't give permission to do what? And you come back to us after you do Barney Clark and do another one. We'll see if we give you permission to do another one. I mean, how weird is it? I mean, it was unprecedented, and I give them credit for that. But nonetheless, I think they handled it very badly. And when Bill DeVries came back after Barney Clark had died, and you can argue whether it's success or failure, the IRB really didn't know what to do because they had no guidelines on how to do a second one. So ultimately, as you may or may not, why would you remember, Humana, not for-profit hospital chain, said, Bill, come on down to Nashville. We'll let you do 100 of these things there. You don't have to worry about the IRB. And so his IRB was screwing him around so much, he decided, fine. He picked up and went to Nashville, where he actually did 4 more. And that was the end of it. He had permission from the FDA to do 7, which was kind of like a magic number, or a biblical number. I don't know where they got the 7. It doesn't mean anything in terms of math or statistics, but he didn't have to go back to the FDA until he did a series of 7. But he quit at 5, thank God, because it just wasn't going well. And I spent some time, only a couple of days, with him in Louisville, talking through whether he should do any more. And I think, had already decided he wasn't going to do any more. or his boss, Lansing, had decided he wasn't going to do any more because the publicity had turned, from radically adulatory to, what are you doing to these people?